Oh, there's lots to talk about here. Wow. Well, 3-0. I mean, great goal in there. Limpar Lance and Nolan Burke. I mean, a nice breakaway goal there, pretty much both times, right? And just sunk it right in there.
That Burke goal was a thing of beauty. That was one of the nicest goals I've seen.
He doesn't put in a bad goal.
No, but they're not all highlight worthy either,
yeah,
right? Like,
that's true.
They're all very well constructed, and he's like very skillful at what he does. But that thing, that almost belongs on a poster or something somewhere.
And we were on the penalty kill at the time, right, too? So, I mean, to be able to pull that off. And you mentioned that before, that I feel like, our shorthanded goals have become better and better out there in the ice, and that just kind of proved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like everyone kind of boos and stuff when we get a penalty. And, I mean, of course it sucks, but when we get shorthanded, sometimes I get excited because I know that there's a possibility of something exciting about to happen for sure. Right.
Well, let's talk about the penalties there, and I'm not one for talking about that one. That's usually a Jay Peckham thing, but boy, I feel like we're getting picked on out there. I mean, there was a call out there earlier, a high sticking call.
Yeah, that was though. I saw the replay on that, and I mean, it was a very technically yes. Was it a goal or not? Was it a goal? Was it a penalty? Technically, yes. Could he have let it go? I think absolutely. That could have been one that he lets go, but I don't know.
The fans were not impressed.
They were not. Definitely not.
And there was definitely a few other times out there recent, like we saw another high stick, and then we just saw Nolan Burke getting in there for unsportsmanlike, and I don't know. It's just
like that's another one that could have got let go too. Like when the players for the other team is getting a penalty for slashing, I don't know what Burke could have done that was so unsportsmanlike in response to that actually warranted to go to the box for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
like that was definitely another one. That was if there was one penalty in this game that I really didn't like and would argue against and call the refs out for being unnecessary, it's going to be that one for sure.
Okay. Well, we can't change what the referees do or think or say out there. We just kind of got to live with it, but it does add some frustration out there. And I think even though we're leading 3-0 here, the last 5 minutes there. Go ahead, wave, say hi. The last 5 minutes there, I think the Sarnia Sting were starting to feel a little bit more frustrated at this period.
I think you're right, yeah. I mean, I was starting to feel frustrated too because my kids, I'm here with my kid and he's just, making things a little bit tough to pay attention, so I missed some of what was going on, but you can definitely feel that. You get that sense coming from the ice that they are getting a little bit frustrated, and I think they're up by 3. You would think that this game, while not a runaway exactly, they should be feeling good about it, but it's almost like they're getting worried, they're getting frustrated.
And I think that the Sarnia Sting or the Guelph Storm are kind of poking the bear a little bit out there, and I think maybe they might be getting under our rhino skin a little bit.
I think so, and I think that's one of the things Guelph can do really well. Like we've talked about that, how Sarnia's done really well with not letting that affect them out there on the ice, but they haven't been up against a team like Guelph that's been so annoying and insistent about it to keep going. Like usually when teams feel that finally get the point that we're not going to fall for that crap and it's not going to affect our game, they let it go. They move on to plan B, or they just start being a little bit extra aggressive, and we shut that down too. But Guelph is kind of you're exactly right. They're poking the bear, trying to get under our skin. And I think that might be starting
Guelph's
to work.
good at it. Let's just say it. They've been good at that preseason or pre-playoff hockey too. Now the other thing out there as well is Guelph, they really sort of on a comeback trail there. They weren't doing the greatest, but then near the end, just before playoffs there, they started coming back on strong, beating London, a strong team, right? So when you beat a team like London that strongly, that really takes the confidence to another level.
Most definitely. Like anytime you get a big win, like against London, Windsor, or against Sarnia, like was it Owen Sound?
Oh, right.
They were probably feeling good about that big time in Guelph with the big wins they were getting there and the strides they were making towards success there near the end of the season. That it can't help but put a good feeling on them, give them a little bit of a confidence boost, and that's showing on their it's showing in that team tonight on the ice.
For sure.
They might not show it in the score, but that team they're doing well out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing the Sarnia Sting, so of course, it's going to be a rough go for them. But for what they're up against, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. And still one more period of hockey left, and that can always change things like we've seen the 360 happen, right? And again, with playoff hockey being a whole different type of hockey out there compared to regular season, anything can still happen out there. For example, Kitchener and Windsor last night. Kitchener beat Windsor 5-3, and there is something I don't think Windsor saw coming.
I don't think any of us saw that coming.
Right, you know,
to come out strong like that against the top team in the league, it's
and that's the example of that confidence when something like that happens to you, because you know where you stand right now, and you typically know what you're up against. So when you come across somebody like Windsor, you really know you've got to stand tall and strong to be able to do that. So then when you're the lower guy on the totem pole, so to speak, and you beat them, you're like, wow, we can still pull this off. And that's the great thing about playoff hockey is anything can still happen.
Not only is that going to give Kitchener a big confidence boost, it might drag Windsor down a little bit. They're like on the other side of the coin of that. Windsor might kind of take that the wrong way, run the wrong way with that, and it might where the same way Kitchener's going to be affected in a positive way probably for the rest of that series, Windsor may possibly be affected in a negative way, get a little down on themselves, get frustrated, make more mistakes, and we might see an upset there of Kitchener over Windsor in this first round.
Yeah, so anything can happen. Playoff hockey, exciting in Game 1 here. It's been an exciting night here, and I got to tell you, it's the warmest I've ever felt in here, which means it is a sold-out, full-capacity crowd. They got the noisemakers going and the towels going, and the excitement is in the room. So we'll see what comes out in the third period. Now, I do want to give a shout-out once again. We did it last week, but West Lorne, the town of West Lorne, Ontario, is up for the Kraft Hockeyville. There's only 4 left out of all of Canada. The only one left in Ontario, this tiny little town of West Lorne, about population 1,700 right in West Lorne. And they're up for Kraft Hockeyville, $250,000 for their renovations to their arena that only has 4 locker rooms, and they're a growing community, so they need more. Now, voting began today, March 31st, and is running until tomorrow at about 5 o'clock, I think, is when it ends. So you can go to crafthockeyville.com and vote as many times as you want. So let's show our Sarnia Sting spirit and our hockey spirit and help out the town of West Lorne, Ontario. And previously, before, Lucan, Ontario was the winner of Kraft Hockeyville. So all these little town arenas, hockey means a lot everywhere, but to these tiny little towns, this is really super important for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm very excited to see the outcome of that. I would love to see the town of West Lorne take home that prize, get that money to make the improvements to their arena, because that would just mean the world to all the kids in that in that community that go to that arena to play hockey, week after week. So, and
the possibility of a preseason NHL hockey game taking place there as well. So, good out there. Vote, vote, vote. Let's show our Sting spirit for the town of West Lorne. All right. Well, I don't know what else more we can really say here, except the excitement is here. We've got to see the Sting come out here, put that vertical pedal down on the right. I'd really like, 3-0, but I'd really like to see just 2 more goals in there that would relax me a little.
Just to kind of cement the win, because as much as you and I have always talked about the second period traditionally being the Sting's best, the third period has traditionally been the Sting's weakest.
That's right.
So, and we've seen, big leads get taken away from them in the third period. So, 3-0, it's a nice lead to go into the third with, but nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, well, let's not see that happen. Don't forget, post-game press conference coming up after tonight's hockey game. Never know what's going to happen there. We'll be live in the restaurant. And then we'll be back here on Sunday for the next game of this incredible series here with the Sarnia Sting taking on the Guelph Storm. Thanks for watching, everybody. Live from the concourse here with the Sarnia Sting, I'm David Burrows and my friend Lee Bazeley. 1, 2, 3. Go Sting, go!